Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. Welcome to my shop. See, I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful afternoon. The tractor's right there and it's begging me to go running around. Only because the rain says it's coming for 7 to 10 days. So I'm going to get ready and get it all cut and all. All you got to do right now, you know the deal. You got to watch. Are you watching? Yeah, watch. Don't go. We're going to start with something we ended up on the other day. Do you know what those are? Okay, take a hard look at them now. See if we can close up any more and get an idea. You see those little things? Now, two things. Number one, imagine your dad stepping on one of them when he got dropped on the floor. And all those new words we used. Yeah, my girls do. They're child chasing, having fun this afternoon. I even got the little red ball that goes with them. It's a Jacks game. I got this one. I went and had to look one up. I got this the other day from Amazon for like $3.73, and it came with the ball and everything else. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, but it will still work. And I use it. I put it on my working table when I'm laying things up, when I'm getting ready to put a finish on stuff, and I set the finished piece down on top of it. It doesn't have to have nails or spikes or pikes or anything else. And you have to have a certain pattern. Just lay the Jacks down, put the thing over the top of it. It looks like it's in the right spot. You can do the rest of the finish. Especially if you're spraying. If you're spraying high gloss or polyurethane, you know, the Deft. I gotta go brand name. The Deft polyurethane. It's an awesome finish. But hey, I must have started something the other day, because I've gotten about 10 phone calls from guys that said, but I want to do this on a fruit bowl or a soup bowl or a platter or whatever. It's okay with me. Yeah, it's fine. Get a really great finish on it. Spray the top coat with polyurethane. Wait 3 days. That's 3 whole days. 1, 2, 3. Wait 3 days before you give it to your client or put food in it. If it's an American-made finish, it doesn't have a lot of contaminants in it. It doesn't have lead in it and all that. And it goes neutral in about 3 days. So if you wait about 3 days, it'd be a pretty neutral finish. And that's when you are selling your stuff at a art fair, or you give it to somebody and say, oh, this has got a finish on it. This is going to come out and kill me. No, the cigarettes you just had are going to kill you. Or the alcohol you're sucking down, that's going to kill you. This ain't going to kill you. All right? So that's just an idea. A couple other things. We had a lot of calls last week about sharpening tools. Now, we still make and distribute the Black Hawk sharpening rig. And that's kind of a bulletproof sharpening rig. It really is. I mean, you can't go wrong. You mount it on your grinder. And then when you sharpen something, if you use the AccuSet, and I do think I'm the only guy that makes that AccuSet, and that's so that the rod that goes in and out goes back to the same spot every time, makes that elliptical grind nicer, cleaner, easier, and you can achieve it every single time. So what a guy talked to me about was he was changing his wheels, and the people at, you know I'm terrible about names, Norton, people at Norton told him, do a 120 pink grinding wheel for your finish grinding. He called me and asked me that. A real nice guy. I like talking to him. You want to call? Call me. I'll talk to you. 504-715-0512. But he came up this pink wheel from Norton. He said, what happens? And we talked about it. Here's the deal. Everything you grind off that tool goes on the floor. If it goes on the floor, it comes off the tool. If it's off the tool and on the floor, you're paying more for it. You got a lot of money? Send it to me. But if you don't have a lot of money, you want to be efficient, then let's sharpen one pass. I can do that. You can do that. You set your jig up, You get married to that point where it'll work, and you get on that soft, nice, clean 120 wheel, you can make one pass, walk back on your machine and go back to cutting again. One pass. So you don't have to go back and forth and all this and all that stuff. One pass. It knocks the edge back, puts little teeth on it, and that's what you're looking for. And you come up with a really great grind. But that 120 wheel, that pink one by Norton, that's the way to go. That'd be it would remove less steel. Hold on. Before you talk about the overheating the steel, you know how you really got to overheat the steel? Using that 60 or 80 grit and working at it and not pulling it off. You can reduce the temperature of the steel just by wrapping a wet sock around it. Not the way you grind it, but the rest of it. It'll suck the heat away from it. That'll keep it cool. A couple of tips like that. I know y'all gonna let me know. All right. So that was one. Another guy said, you got to tell us when SWAT is. Okay, SWAT, Southwest Association of Turners, SWATURNERS.org. See this? SWAT, or that's their website. You get all the information there, but the dates you're looking for are August 25, 26, and 27. That's the last weekend in August, and it's a big weekend. It's one of the world's finest organized symposiums. Really is. My personal opinion, and I believe that's got a little wealth to it. Okay. I mean, you're going to bump into people there. You'll be able to go up and ask Lyle Jameson, how'd you do this? How'd you cut that? Wow, I got one of those hollows and it does this and does that. A guy last year said, wait, it does what? And I'm standing laughing at him. I said, your lathe is running reverse, isn't it? He says, yeah. He was left-handed and he works his lathe out left the wrong way. But he set the cutter up like the right way. And didn't dawn on him that this was doing that and he was causing it. But he had the pro. He had Lyle Jameson. Right there. He can talk to him. You can talk to the hat guy, Johannes Mikkelsen. You can talk to the people at JT Tools. You can talk to Ron Brown. Ron Brown's probably going to be back on his feet again. He broke an ankle or something. As I understand it, he was tap dancing at a bar mitzvah and he fell. And that happens when you get a little old as Ron. But Ron Brown's going to be there. He's got more gadgets and gizmos than you shake a stick at. I mean, he's always got it because he's a wood turner and he understands where we're going and how we want to get there and what we can and can't do. So that's what you will find there from a guy like Ron Brown. And oh yeah, by the way, get ready for it. There's a guy in an ugly, very ugly, wooden cowboy hat named, where's his name at here? Because I gotta get the name right. Clayton Cochran. Clayton Cochran's going to be there. Probably only there on Friday and Saturday. Well, it's on Friday and Saturday. But Clay will be there. Clay Cochran will be there. You can look him up. He's got a wooden hat. Now, I've made 88 of those cowboy hats and baseball caps out of wood. I have a burro parked outside. As soon as I'm back to where I can do the thing on the lake that I'm not confused about horizons, I'm going to make me one out of that burro. That's going to be fine. Can't wait for that. Another guy said the other day, why would I keep a sample of the wood I'm doing to do a finished sample? It's real simple. If you've got an exact piece of what you made that bowl out of, a piece of poplar or ash or maple or whatever, and you go put a finish on it, you sand it, you have to cut it the same and sand it the same. And then when you want to see if the finish will work, the finish will show you what happens. I grew up working in a wood shop with a bunch of guys in downtown New Orleans. And I remember a lady coming in one day and we just finished a cherry table for her. And she said, what's that going to look like when the finish is on it? The guy is standing there goes, spits on it, he rubs it in, and he says, look just like that. He really did that. He really spit on it, he rubbed it in. She liked to have a cow. Really. She would have had a cow with straw hat and shoes. But this guy spit on it, and that, you know what? That is the most honest thing I can do to somebody. If he asks me what it looks like, put a stripe on it, put saliva on it. That's what it's going to look like when you seal it and put a finish on it. I know it sounds gross, and I wish Woody hadn't done that, but hey, it happens. But if you want to see what a sample finish looks like, take a sample of the bowl, put the finish on it, see if the chatoyance. Oh, I caught hell about that too. My wife thinks I made up that term. Management thinks I created the term chatoyance. Chatoyance is when you have the wood sanded to the right degree and there's some reflection, cat's eye coming back at you. Chatoyance, cat's eye, it's coming back at you. You'll take a piece, and I can't do it with a camera because the camera doesn't see it. But you see it. You take a piece and you move it, and it looks like you're going down through the grain. You see the wiggle and the shimmy. All right, you can get that on almost every wood if you sand it right. All right, we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But if you sand it right, you can get that chatoyance. When you get the chatoyance, you have to seal the wood. You put a sealer on it. Then you got to put a finish on it. And your finish can be a built-up finish like Aubichon juice, which is a shellac finish with oil. You can use polyurethane. You can use lacquer. There's a million of them out there. But remember this before you get there. And this is for you new turners, so you understand this. You have to have the wood ready. There's not a bottle of finish in the world that will fix your screw up. It won't fill the little dips and daps. It won't fill in the little holes. If you tore the wood out, it's going to see the wood being torn out. But if you get it right and you sand it right, then you will get the chatoyance. Sand it right. Let's start at 80 grit. We do 80, 120, 180, 220, 280, 320, 400, and don't use grocery store sandpaper. Get some good paper, something like Vince Welch at Vince of Wood Wonders. Get good sandpaper made for what you're doing. Sand it down, take it all the way through every step. If you skip a step, you're leaving a scratch. If you go 80 to 200, there's some scratches you can't get out of 80 scratches with 200. Oh yeah, by the way, every one of those sanding grits leaves a scratch. What you're doing is making them smaller and fewer as you go along. And if your paper looks so burned and raggedy when you get done, you're working it too hard. Now, I like to wet sand. I really do. And I'll wet sand everything. Or anything. I spray it on with the spray bottle like Mama used for the well, no. Mama had a sprinkle bottle for the clothes. But, you know the spray bottle you spray around the yard? Right? Mom had one of those. And she'd spray the clothes before she ironed them. That's what I use. Mine's hanging on the side of the lake. And I put the water in there. No oil, no grease, no oil, no soap, none of that. Water. Then I use the paper that I get from Vince, and I'll sand it lightly with that water helping until I get to like 400. Then I give up on the water because I'm just buffing after that. It's really hard to sand wood to see a difference 400 and above. Personal opinion, okay? But it will come out really nice if you work with it. But once you get it there, slap a little sealer on it and look for the reflectivity, the cat's eye, the chatoyance. See if it's in there. If you get that chatoyance, you can preserve that finish, seal it up, and it will look awesome. That's the one people walk by and stop and say, that bowl just winked at me, or that platter's moving. Right? You don't have to tell them what it did. It's chatoyance. Had a bunch of guys call. Hey, that's enough. That's our visiting dog. Beautiful yellow lab. His dad is in the military and he's trying to make a living around here. And this one's just going to be the middle of the stage. Get used to it. All right, people called to order things this week. Yes, we're still in business. We're at www.eddiecastellan.com, right here. You can call me at my phone number, right here. Or you can come by, but I'm in New Orleans. A lot of dead bodies in New Orleans. Let's avoid that. There's a new city slogan. We don't like you, we shoot you. Okay. But we're still taking orders. We're still selling cutters and bars and templates and other things. We have a whole list of things that we sell. It's all listed on our website under orders, cutters only, and combo stuff. That's everything we have. I no longer run the company. My wife had to take it over when I got sick. I help her as much as I can. You can help me because this is our way of life. This is what we do. So if you need something, give me a call. I told you about slicing wood. I'm going to have a couple of boys here in a week or two. They're going to be in and we're going to set up a lathe. We're going to set up a little mini jet. A jet that I gave them. We're going to set the lathe up and I'm going to teach them something about cutting. But the first thing I'm going to teach them, I'm not going to show them how to make a pen, a bottle stopper, or a jar, or a plate, or a bracket, or anything. No. First thing we're going to do is take a piece of that junk wood right there, that poplar. Stick it between centers. Pardon me. And they're going to make it round, and they're going to make it smooth, and they're going to make it finished. And they're going to do it with one tool. They're going to learn how to use that skew day one. No being afraid of it. No, I'm going to show you how it cuts. We'll start at 1 RPM if we have to build up to what we need to do. But these are two young fellows. They're in the low teens, and they're just learning how to do woodworking. They can build stuff. Their dad's an awesome builder. They can put things together. They can figure things out. They can run the whole farm. But they're going to learn wood turning. And Everest. And that's what their future's going to be. So I'm going to have them in a couple of weeks on the lathe I gave them. They cleaned it all up. We took all the rest off, took all the finish off, and they put the final coat on it. He told me he's going to make it John Deere green. I'm okay with that. Right. I told you about sharpening tools because all that stuff you grind away with all these other people's heavy rocks and all that, I ain't going to get it. You're wasting tools. I wear the tools out. How? One pass, go back to cut. One pass, go back to cut. One pass, go back to cut. You can do that if you've got a sharpening jump. Alright, I think that's about all I had on the list here today. I had some other stuff. Couldn't read it the other day when we got together. But I had to come show you what the jacks are. Remind you about the grinding and the cutting. And let me sum up something on cutting. And I've said it, and I've had people call me and tell me they don't understand this. If you can cut it at 1 RPM, you can cut it at 3,000 RPMs. Your lathe doesn't turn at 1 RPM. Your turning buddy can turn your headstock at 1 RPM. If you're confused by how a tool works, you need to slow it way down and watch how the tool works. Don't worry about how the pen comes out. Don't worry about the bowl or wall cut. Worry about what your tool does. I told you about Lyle Jamieson's there. Lyle Jamieson is the master of the tool. He knows how to use that tool, what it will slice, what it will cut, what it will go away with, what will go away with it, and how it will finish. Same thing with Johannes Mikkelsen, the hat maker. And the guys at JT Tools. They know their tools. They know how to cut. They know how to get to them. That's what you want to learn. How does your tool cut? How does it slice the wood off softly? If it doesn't slice it off softly, you're throwing wood on the floor that you want to use. You're not getting a good finish. And these guys that get on TV, and I gotta say it, there's a bunch of them, and they take that tool and they plow it right in there. Don't go do that. Please don't go do that. A couple of things can happen. The first is you can get hurt. I don't need to see you hurt. You know how you can get unfriended by me? Send me a picture of a wound. I don't need to see where you made a mistake. A Band-Aid's a Band-Aid's a Band-Aid. I don't need to see that. And it really freaks me out to see it. So I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't want you hurt. So take your time. Learn how your tools work. And then practice with that tool. And practice on a junky piece of lumber. Rip a piece of 2x4 down. Stick a block in there. Whatever you need. Get in practice. Every time I've done a really nice art piece, I've made it out of a chunk of mahogany that I got off a shopping center 2 miles down the road as I was tearing the shopping center down. They had 3x7 hand caps on the handrails. I took every one of them I could get. I had them back here for 10 years, 12 years. Chopped them all up. When I got sick, my wife and the family and the friends of cleaning up around here thought that was all junk. They hauled it all away. Don't worry, I know where to get another shopping center. Hope we had a good visit. If I can do something for you, give me a call. I'll put my address, my phone number, my website, my email. Heck, I'll put the dog's name if you want. It's all at the end of this thing. All I ask is, if you need it and you think I can help you, give me a call. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. Back in soon, making shavings. You take care and be good now. Here's the bad news. That tractor's still calling. I gotta go riding. Go get my big floppy hat.